The owner came up. She was very, very bitter. She was very mad at me. She was very upset that I was in McDonald's. And she asked me if I was filming, and I said, yes, I am. And she said, get out. All right, do you want to pop over here real fast? Let's have a conversation. How you guys doing? Give me 2 seconds. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. I'm glad you're doing this, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys all came. Thank you. Thank you. There's lots of people in the parking lot here, lots of citizens. So jump in that passenger side if you would, please, so we can have some privacy. You're not afraid people are going to see you?
No, I'm tired of being pushed around by these so-called, people that are supposed to protect us, and they don't. All they do is harass and threaten us and harm us. Mm-hmm. I mean, it started with me with a domestic a few years back, and I was held captive. The cops, I had went to my garage during this domestic 3-day thing, and I was screaming for someone to call the cops because he wouldn't let me go. He was my boyfriend, okay? And so the cops finally show up, and I'm thinking I can get out of there. I have a gash in my head, blood, black eyes, bruises all over me. It was bad. And the cop's like, well, what do you want to do? Because it was my house. And I said, well, I want him out. And he stood on his bag and said, well, why don't we both go to jail? Because apparently in this town, the cop can decide if it's relevant for both to go to jail. But I guess me beaten up was good enough for me to go to jail.
I'm sorry, you're crying. And what are you the most upset about right now?
Because it was a traumatizing situation to begin with. The cop never took the time to treat me like a person or a human and to see what the real problem was. He never took the time to do that. Automatically, I was considered bad and had to go to jail.
I've been there, man.
And then I get almost killed there because they had to do staples in my head. I had 7 staples with a hairline fracture in my skull now. And the cops escort me over there to St. Mary's, and then they're taking me to jail after. They're booking me in.
You're going to jail, which, by the way, that's going on. Lots of couples are being arrested. We talked to one woman, her husband was arrested in the convenience store she works at. They arrested her. When they arrested Tim, they arrested Sarah. Double the revenue. The revenue.
That's right. That's right. And so I was like, I can't believe I'm still going to jail. So they're booking me, right? And hair's falling down from where they had to shave to put the staples in.
They're booking you in after you have staples in your head?
Yes. I have a head trauma, a severe concussion, and I'm being booked into the county. And he's talking to me, and hair's coming down, and I went, to get the hair out of my face. He said, don't you spit at me, and he threw me Spoljaric. I'll never forget him. Threw me on the ground, stuck his knee on my neck. I couldn't breathe. I thought my last breath was going to be with that asshole's knee on my neck. And everything went black. I went ahead and just closed my eyes and accepted it because I couldn't breathe anymore. And then the woman goes, that's enough. You got to let up. And he let up just in time.
Did they strip search you?
Oh, yeah.
So they strip search her going from the hospital.
Yep.
It's to demoralize you. It's to dehumanize you. It's to break your soul. Because how many people here, when they meet someone new, turn around, spread their butt cheeks, and cough? How many people here do that? So the war on drugs is a farce.
It is.
It's a total farce. Look what they did to this woman. She was beaten by a man, and they arrested her for it. That's going on right here. It's disgusting. And this could be called Anywhere Town. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Krista. I just wanted to make sure that people knew that you were sexually assaulted on top of being wrong. My hand's shaking. It's making me so mad. Your story has got me the most emotional yet because it's wrong what happened to you.
So somebody, I don't know who it was, wanted me out of there. And my parents got contacted. And my dad was right there because he knew I was hurt. I go to court a couple weeks later and everything's dropped on me. Why do I even have to go do that? It wouldn't have been that way if they would have checked. That was just one time.
Yeah.
Another time that was a severe trauma. My daughter got on methamphetamines that I blame the county for. They are responsible for putting this shit on the street just as much as anybody else. And she gets messed up and she's like acting crazy. And I want to help her, so I call 911.
Oh, no.
Well, she had pulled a knife.
Oh,
I had to get a knife from her. And I already was traumatized from that. And they show up with the sheriff. And the sheriff is sitting there, well, what's your name? Which they are not allowed to do. They are not allowed to show up and ask other people for their IDs and information just because you're there. That's
right.
illegal.
That's right.
So I wouldn't give him my information.
That's right.
He said, it's okay, Krista Gianmarco. You got a warrant. And he puts me in. Okay, so they take me to jail on a warrant that was originally dropped. He wouldn't let me prove it. He wouldn't let me go get the paperwork. I told him right there, you are breaking my civil rights.
Who's the cop?
That one was, you all are talking about him all the time, Blankenship.
Blankenship took you to jail on a warrant that didn't exist.
Yes, and then they pretended like it wasn't there for 3 days. I sat there for 3 days.
You went to the dungeon, so now this is the second time you've been to...
Second time I've dealt with them.
How many people have you raped?
None.
How many people have you beat up?
None.
How many people have you made a victim out of that person?
None.
You've had 0 victims in your life, but yet you've been dragged to the dungeon, strip searched, sexually assaulted. Did you have to turn around, squat, and cough?
Yes.
So you know the term turn around, squat, and cough?
Yeah.
Wow. And so now you go to jail for calling the police for a wellness check to help you with your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so then when Blankenship gets there, he runs the radio and they say you have a warrant that you know has already been quashed. Mm-hmm. And so you say, I have paperwork in my bedroom. Let me show it to you. Don't arrest me. Mm-hmm. And what does Blankenship say to you?
No, I wasn't allowed to get my paperwork. He said, just get in the car. He shoved me into the car, takes my head, dunks me down, and shoves me into the car. Knocked my head off the side of the car, too, while he was doing it. I was so mad. I kept my cool, though. But when I got to jail and they wouldn't look it up, like, come on, it's right there. It's right there. Look it up. They know. They didn't want to do their job. I got manhandled in the jail over that shit.
Wow. Wow. You had to stay in jail for 3 days?
3 days. My mom ended up calling Monday because it was on a damn Friday night. Friday afternoon is what it was. So it was technically 2 days. But Monday morning, she calls over to the courthouse and she's like, why is my daughter in jail? She done went and got this warrant dropped 2 weeks ago. Why is she in jail? And so they go and look it up. And I still don't know why it took so long to get across the street to begin with. It had been dead for 5 days before that happened.
So this is another story, just like Tim Lyons. Remember, Officer Sheriff Lawless, he wants a new jail. They dungeoned Tim Lyons for 3 days saying you don't have a bond. And then they dungeoned her for 3 days saying that she had a warrant that she knew was not there. Did they check to see if maybe you had paperwork that was legit?
No, they said they looked on the computer, but they didn't. And then this one sheriff comes in, and I know him.
What's
He's
his name?
Bowles.
Bowles?
Bowles. And he looks it up, and he goes, look, guys, it's right here on the front part of her screen. It says update, and you click on it, and it said that my warrant was dropped.
And which day was that? Day 1, 2, or 3?
3.
And then, so Bowles is your friend then? Or he acted
Bowles
like a...
said, get Gianmarco out of here. She's a lawsuit waiting to happen. That's what he said.
Wait, so Bowles doesn't say it's wrong that you've been dungeoned. He says this is a lawsuit waiting. How long ago was that?
That was, that was 2 years ago.
Was it been more than 2 years or just 2 years?
Just 2 years.
We need to know if it's within 2 years because you should file a civil rights lawsuit.
I want a civil rights lawsuit. I tried. I asked everybody and no one would help.
Lawyers are not going to help you unless you're paying them. Unless you're giving them...
Hey, I paid for an attorney and he still stuck me under. That was a Kentucky case. That was recent. They were in my vehicle when I come out of my friend's house. How did they do that? Didn't even pull me over, dude. In my fucking vehicle when I come out.
So you're just a everyday lawless lawbreaker. Is that who you are?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
So do you assault people?
No.
Are you a meth dealer?
No.
Are you beating children?
No.
I don't understand.
I don't even do anything. I'm fine.
And you've been to jail 3 times that we're talking about so far. There's a third time too, right?
Yep.
In another county. What do they go to jail for there?
Okay, so TJ and Sarah, they're my friends. They're my buddies. Like, I've stayed the night with them and hung out with them. They knew my deceased husband, and so we all hung out together, you know.
Sure.
And well, Derek had just died, and they knew I was having a rough time, and money was tight, and I'm taking care of 4 grandkids and my elderly parents, so I needed cigarette money, and he loaned it to me.
Oh.
Well, I was going down the road, and this girl that I knew is pregnant, and she's walking on the outside, and her dude's walking on the other side. I stop and give him a ride. Okay? So we get over there. She's throwing up, so I park towards the dumpster because I don't want her to get sick in my truck, and that way, you know, it all works out. Well, I go into TJ's house, and I'm hanging out, and 20 minutes later, I come out, and there's some cops in my truck.
So how'd they get into your truck?
He just opened up the door, I guess, or he got permission from the girl that was there. She was scared. She didn't know what to do.
Which cop was this?
Now his name, it was something Brad something. I can't remember his last name.
Was it Hanshaw?
No, this was in Kentucky, and
Okay.
I got the paperwork on his.
Okay.
He even wrote it out on the ticket that he had followed me and never pulled me over.
So it was a lie.
Yeah.
It was a lie.
Yeah, and I took it to court, and I knew I had it, but they strong-armed me the whole way. I paid $2,700 for a lawyer. Chris DeLauder, he lives over here.
Chris DeLauder.
Paid for him.
And then did he get the body cam?
No, he said that they couldn't get it. I had asked for it. He said they couldn't get it.
Why
I knew
couldn't
that
they
was
get
crap.
it? Why couldn't they get it?
Oh, it wasn't working that night conveniently.
Oh, so the body cam doesn't work when they illegally search your car?
Oh, sure, it don't. No, I don't know.
Right. Do you have anything else you want to add while we're here? Any particular cops that hurt you badly?
Just definitely Spoljaric and Blankenship. They're no good.
Blankenship. You know, I had Blankenship's grandpa in earlier, and he was telling me how they're good boys and they're doing the right thing, and that it's you who's on drugs. Were you on drugs when Blankenship abused you?
No, I was not.
Mm-hmm.
These people are brainwashed, okay? Especially the older people. They're so programmed that they don't realize that they are. And so it's so easy when someone tells them this is black, they think it's black without checking out whether it's really black or not, you know?
Right.
It's bullshit. People don't check things out for themselves. If someone tells you something, do research.
Where does Spoljaric work at?
The sheriff's county jail, Lawrence County Sheriff Office.
Jeff Lawless. The personable, nice sheriff.
Yep.
Spoljaric's a brutal thug, according to several people now.
Yes.
Spoljaric hurts people. And does anybody report him for doing this?
The woman that was there, she's an older woman. Her name is Joy. And I really think she felt bad about it. I think she's the one that called my parents because my parents didn't know. I didn't get a call. You don't get a call when you go in there, by the way. You don't get a call.
You don't get a phone call?
No, you don't. No, you don't. And you are sleeping on top of other people there. It's always packed. It's been packed for years. I got scars from the handcuffs. I don't know if you can see it that good. Yeah, you can see it right there.
Wow. Put that back up. You have scars from the hand. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
She has scars from the handcuffs.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
my.
one over here. That's
Oh
what
my
they did
God.
right there. That big indent scar. That's them scratching the hell out of me.
All right. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yes, the more people that stand up, the more change we can create. We are the ones. We're the voices. We have to do this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
That's why she's here. She's not accusing the 2 brother cops of dealing drugs. She's accusing the brother who came in and testified on camera and gave his account, his report, that he's the one that they bought drugs from. So I want to make sure this is clear.
That's what I was told.
She's not saying it was. She's not saying it was Carl either. Carl Blankenship.
I don't know him either.